Good morning, traders, and welcome to Trading Waves Forex and Cryptocurrency Weekly Outlook. Right, so today I'm going to be your host, guys. Victor is not available, and those who are not familiar with my voice, my name is Sandile Ngobo, one of the chart analysts with Trading Waves. So without wasting any time, what we are seeing right now on the screen, our contact details. If you go to any of our videos on our YouTube page is Trading Waves. It's Trading Waves. So if you go to any of our videos there below that, you get our contact details there. What you see on the screen right now is our email address. If you've got any inquiries regarding our services, you can email us there or contact us via email. And again, just an announcement, we are running a 30% special on our courses, on our full course. We're running a 30% and an advanced one-on-one plan, and also on our lifetime plan. So if you're interested in that, you can inquire on that via email on info@tradingwaves.com. You can also reach us on our WhatsApp number there. We also got a Telegram channel that you can where we make announcements. And below that, we've got our trading view. You can follow us there on Trading View, and also on Twitter as well, and also on Facebook. And look out for the timestamps a few hours after the videos have been uploaded. We know that not everybody is interested on watching the whole video, so you can look out at the timestamps once the videos have been uploaded. Right, so let's look at the market. How did the market perform the last week, and what is expected going forward? You will see how we've been able to trade over 2,000 points on silver. But before we go that, let's start with this one here. So we've got CAD Chief here. This was our chart. This was the expectation here. The focus was for CAD Chief from these lows here to make a move to the upside before we drop. The overall structure that we're looking at here is this one to have been a three-wave move to a downside here, three-wave move up. So we are expecting to see this one to be a move to the upside before we drop. Now let's have a look at how did CAD Chief play out. You will see that CAD Chief from the forecast, these lows here, we've already got this move to the upside. Now we are expecting that CAD Chief should drop to the downside here. So if you notice on our forecast, we had our WXYXZ, but the structure that we are looking at is this to be a three-wave move. This to be the three-wave move structure here. So we're going to be expecting this drop to a downside. As you can see, we're already starting this here. So the expectation will be still for this one to drop to the downside here. All right, so let's have a look at the next one here. That would be pound CAD. So pound CAD, the forecast was for this one to drop to the downside here. We've been showing this structure for quite some time. If you've been following us, you will remember very well that we have been looking at this structure here on pound CAD. This to be a three-wave move to a downside. So even if we're around this area here, we're focusing that this should at least drop to come around the area of 162 before we can expect to see a bullish move to the upside. Now let's see how did pound CAD play out. Right, so pound CAD is focused at. When we made a forecast, we were around this area here. We said this should continue the drop to the downside, and the expectation was still for this one to give us a little bit of a drop. But from next week, we will be expecting that the pound CAD might be ready to give us a move to the upside. Yeah, we'll show this one more when we do the live chart. Now let's have a look at this one here. The US Chief. So US Chief, if you've been following this here, you've seen that we've been focusing this move for quite some time, that we're expecting a move to the upside. Then from there, we're going to be looking for the drop. The overall structure that we're looking at was this one, this should be A here, our B, and this should be our C, before we can even think of a bullish move to the upside. Now let's see how did US Chief play out then. Okay, so there are many of them. I'm not going to be covering them. You will see that we've got the move. The forecast was when we were around there, we got the move to the upside, exactly to the other side of channel. And now the expectation was for this one to drop when it gets around this area here. And that is exactly what is happening with US Chief. So going forward, the expectation will be for this one to continue with a drop to the downside here. Just again, look at the forecast. The before chart here, we were around this area here, and you expected this to make a move to the upside and a drop. And you've seen that one, we've got a move to the upside, and this is already starting to drop to the downside. So we'll see how far that can go. And I'm going to look at this one, which will be the last one. That will be platinum. We've been showing you platinum for quite some time, but what we've been showing all along was when we took this here from here and then a move to a downside. But the actual forecast was from when this was here, we expected this year to give us an 11 swing to the 11 swing sequence to the upside before a drop. So when we were around here, the sequence in the cycle and our special indicator, which tells us when the market is ready or when to expect the market to give us a reversal. So it was when we were around this area, the indicator was telling us that we should expect a move to the upside and then a drop. Remember that these charts are computer generated, so you're going to have something that is going to help you on the Elliott wave count. So the special indicator that we are using is the one that is helping us to see whether the market is ready to drop, or we still yet to expect to see a move to the upside. So when we're around this area here, it said we must expect a move to the upside before we drop. And let's see, how did platinum play out? You see that platinum has traded lower over 2,000 points. Okay, so we've got the move to the upside that we were expecting. Okay, so we've got the move to the upside. We were around this area here. We expected this move to the upside and this one to drop here. So last week we were about 1,960 points. Now we've already traded this year down to 2,000 points, and the expectation is still for this one here to drop more to the downside. But obviously, the market does not go in a straight line. We can still have this one as a structure, but we'll see that more once we do the market analysis. And let's have a look at the next one here. That was the DXY. So the DXY, we have been looking at this one to be wave 4. So we will be looking at this year for quite some time, that anything above this year, the expectation was for this one to make a move to the upside. But what happened when we were here, because the expectation was for this one to make a move to the upside, but the indicator showed that this was not ready to go. So this was a 3-wave move here. So we expected that this was going to come around this area here on the other side of the channel, before we see a move to the upside here. Now let's have a look. How did the DXY play out after? So as expected, the market came into the other side of the channel here, and exactly from here, it started to make this move to the upside, and going forward, we'll still be expecting the DXY to continue with the bullish move to the upside. So if you're seeing any 3-wave pullback here, you can still look for a bullish move to the upside on the DXY. Right, so those are the ones that I'm going to look at. There are plenty of them, but I don't want to waste much time. So let's get down to the market analysis, and let's see what we expect going forward. So we're going to be starting with the pound US dollar here. So on a 4-hour time frame, pound US dollar, we are still expecting to see this one to be continuing with that bearish move to the downside. That is our primary view. But obviously, like I've said, that the market does not move in a straight line. The expectation is for this one here to drop. So we're looking at this one to be our wave 1 in a lower degree here. This being our wave 1 and our wave 2 here, and we're looking at this one to be a 5-wave move to a downside, and it's a matter of whether this is already done. Those are 3-wave moves here, but if you look at this is not trading impulsively as you expected. So zooming into this here, expect that you can get this one to be a double collective structure here in a pound US dollar. So we could be having this one here. The primary views for this one to drop, but we're looking at this to be a 3-wave move to the upside, 3-wave move down here. So you won't be surprised if you're seeing a 3-more wave move to the upside before you see the actual drop to the downside. But overall, structurally, the expectation is for pound US dollar to continue with that bearish move to the downside. Right, so the indicator will tell us when this is ready to drop. So the DXY, we saw it over when we were doing the recaps that we are expecting the DXY to make a move to the upside. So that will mean we would be expecting to see Euro US dollar to be dropping. So we are looking at this here to be a 3-wave move corrective structure here. So we're going to be looking at the Euro US dollar to give us this 3-wave corrective structure. And then we're going to be looking for a bearish move to the downside. It's a simply ABC corrective structure that we have here. This should be our wave A, 5-wave move up. Wave B, this should be our wave C here. Now the expectation will be for this one to drop to the downside. So our members, remember that the benefit of being a member is that you get these charts done for you. We are your third eye on the market. We make sure that before the London Open, we've already updated our 1-hourly charts, and also during the New York, or when New York is just opening, we also do the charts. So we update our charts 2 times a day. It's not only that, we also have our live trading room, and obviously our daily technical video that is released just before the London Open for those specific instruments that are interesting for that day. All right, so if you really want to jump into in joining our community, you can do so by contacting us. All right, so let's continue. Let's have a look at US dollar chief. You saw the forecast for this one, which has been a move to the upside from these lows around this area here. So we have been forecasting that this is going to make a move to the upside and expecting it to drop. Now it has already starting to drop. So now it's a matter of whether this is going to go all the way down here or it's going to be a three-wave corrective structure. What we need to be mindful of is this here, that this has already been a three-wave move corrective structure here. So the indicator is going to tell us if whether we should expect that this is going to make a move to the upside, or we are going to look at this one too, give us a three-wave pullback and then a drop to the downside. But you need to be mindful that when the DXY is making a move to the upside, so you should expect that the US dollar chief as well should be expected to make a move to the upside. But this looks like a three-wave moves already just came into the upper legs. So be careful, this might not go all the way down. Instead, it might give us this structure here and give us this one more leg, especially that Euro US dollar is expected to trade lower as well. So the two pairs are negatively correlated. But structurally, be careful here with US dollar chief being a three-wave structure like this, and then this here, but the forecast will be for this one to make a drop. But when this is going to make a move to the upside, the indicator is going to tell us that we should be expecting a bullish move to the upside. Now let's have a look at Audi US dollar here. So Audi US dollar, if you remember very well from last week, we have been looking at this structure here. This should be a three-wave move, expanding flat corrective structure. We had this was an impulsive move, and we are looking at this here to be a three-wave corrective structure against this swing high here. Then we're going to be expecting a bearish move to a downside. But you don't have to go and just sell this here. You're going to have to see a confirmation here, or you use your own strategy. But the expectation will be for this one to drop. A break of this high here, then it will be invalidating the view of a move to a downside. Then that will mean we should expect to see more bullish move to the upside. But the primary view is for this one to drop, since we're expecting that the DXY is going to continue with the bullish move to the upside. New Zealand US dollar will be the same as well with the Audi US dollar. From last week, we were expecting this one to drop here. So we're looking at this one to open an 11 swing sequence to the upside here. This is what we are looking at here. This to have completed this 11 swing. So the expectation will be for this one to drop to the downside here. So if you get this one to drop, then you see a pullback, then you can start to look for that bullish, bearish move to the downside. Just to show you something on a daily time frame, please be cautious of this here, because this might be done here. You just need to see this one confirming. Okay, so that's why it's very important that you confirm. This might already be done with this three-wave structure here. Just by looking at this here, this could be a three-wave move to a downside, and this might be ready for that bullish move to the upside. So if you start to see this three-wave pullback, then you must know that this will be already done. But for now, the primary view is for this one to drop from the current level. To get this one to drop here, then you're going to be looking for that bearish move. So you can use your own strategy there. The indicator is going to tell us when this is ready to drop. Now back to the 4-hour time frame, let's have a look at US dollar CAD. So US dollar CAD, we are looking at this here to be the structure here. Still expecting to see some more bearish move to a downside before we can expect the actual move to the upside here. So we have been looking at this one to be an impulsive move to the upside, and then this would have been a three-wave move to a downside, this being our W, 3 waves up here being our wave X. So the expectation will be for this to complete this last three-wave move here. So it will be simply W, with X here, and this to be our wave Y. Expect this one to even drop lower, at least to come back around this swing lows here. Then from there, you're going to be expecting that US dollar CAD will be ready for that move to the upside. So if you're seeing a 3 waves pull back from where it is, then you might take it to the downside, at least to come back around the 123 area before we can expect a bullish move to the upside. So the DXY, you've seen what we're looking at here. We are looking at this one to have completed the wave 4 here. So the expectation will be for this one to continue with that bullish move to the upside. So we are looking at this one here. This to have been wave A here, wave B, and this to have been our wave C here. Now the expectation will be for this one to make a move to the upside here. Preferable, it must break this swing high here. If it does break those swing high, then it will be almost confirming that this is ready. But for now, if you are seeing a three-wave pullback against this swing low here, since we are calling that the wave 4 has already ended here, then you can look for that bullish continuation move to the upside. But you don't have to just immediately go and buy that just because the focus for this one to a move to the upside. You must have a specific strategy or something that is telling you that this is ready to go, because you might just jump into that here and this might start to even pull back at you before it makes the actual move to the upside. Some people cannot stand when the market is pulling back on them. So if you don't understand this here, when the market is doing a pullback, you obviously think that this is invalidating the structure, and then you close your trade only to find that it was just doing a three-way pullback corrective structure before it continues with that bullish move to the upside. So please be mindful there, or you can also use your own strategy there. Now let's look at the yen pairs. So last week, you saw that the yen pairs have been giving us this rally, and the theme for this week in our group has been expect the yen pairs to give us that three waves pullback. So we are looking at US dollar JPY here to be this to have been a three waves corrective structure here, or this could still be a structure here. We could be having this one for one more leg to the upside, then we have this one to be a three-wave pullback here, and then a move to the upside. Alternatively, this might be done. If you look at this on the 1 hour time frame, it might not be a surprise if you see the US dollar JPY to be starting to give us that rally again. We're looking at this one. If you refer to the last week's update, we're looking at this one to complete our wave 3 here. So this could be a three-wave moves corrective structure that is done here. This being our running flat here in the middle here, and this will be our wave A here. This will be our wave B, and this will be now wave C here. So this could be starting the bullish move to the upside. Alternatively, this could just be our connector here, just getting one more leg before the actual move to the upside here on the US dollar JPY. But overall, the yen pairs are still looking very bullish to the upside. Back to the 4 hour time frame, I'll also show you some of the, let me just refer on the website here. I want to show you on the yen pairs what has been the forecast here on the daily time frame. We've been expecting this bull move for quite some time. Well, so while we're waiting that for to open, now let's have a look at the next one here. That would be pound yen. So what we expect on the pound yen going forward, it will be the same as well with the euro JPY. We are looking with the US dollar JPY. We are looking at this one here to have completed this year being a three-wave moves, and we're expecting that this is going to be moved to the upside here. All right, so let me show you here on the website. So if you go under the yen pairs, okay, so this is our website website. When you go under the yen pairs, let's look at US dollar JPY. Okay, I'm going to be showing you this here on the daily time frame so that you can see that how our members get to benefit this here. So if you've got a chart like this here, look at this on the daily time frame. If you've got a chart like this here, let me zoom into this here, that we are looking for a bullish move to the upside. So from this here, this is just the latest update that we've had. From these lows, if you can refer back to around this here, you will see that from these lows here, our forecast has been always for US dollar JPY to get to the other side of the channel. So even this on as much as this was the latest update, it was in February 28th, we were still showing our members that the expectation is still for this one to continue with this bullish move. Now we've already got to this target. You see that US dollar JPY is already trading above this channel here, and the expectation is still for this one on a lower time frame to give us one more leg before it can consider a drop to the downside. Again here, if you look at Euro JPY, as much as we've not covered this one yet, but if you look at Euro JPY from a daily time frame, the forecast again here has always been for this one here to give us a move to the upside. So if you've got such forecast, then you don't look anything other than the buying opportunity. That has always been the case with the Euro JPY as well. So we've been looking at this one here, Euro JPY. The forecast was for this one to drop here. You will see that when you go on a live chart, we've already got this drop here exactly at this area here, and we are somewhere around this area here on the Euro JPY. And the expectation is for this one here to still continue giving us that move to the upside. Again, here, let me just look at the last one of the yen pairs just to show you how we are able to give this to our members before it plays out. So US CAD JPY will be the last one that I'm showing here on a daily time frame. The rest of them will be the same as well. So CAD JPY, this has always been the forecast here on a daily time frame, that the expectation is for this one to continue with the bullish move to the upside. The update was done on the 28th of Feb here. This was on the 28th of Feb. So if you look at this CAD JPY, we're expecting this one to give us this move here, and CAD JPY is already trading somewhere around this area here. And by just looking at this chart here, comparing to what is happening, you will see that this is a wave 5 that is expected here. So meaning this is our wave 1, our wave 2. We are somewhere here around this area here for the wave 3. So you will be still expecting for one more leg up before you see an actual drop to the downside. So this is how our members get to have these charts before they play out. So like I've said, that we've got a London Open update before the market, and also the New York update for our charts, and also the daily and the weekly time frame. This is how our website works. Now back to the market. So let's have a look at the next one. That will be Euro Yen. So Euro Yen, you've seen this one, how we've been able to trade it for about 1,030 pips or more. So we've been showing that one on the past weeks. You can also refer on the previous webinars. Now, what do we expect going forward on the Euro JPY? We've got this impulsively move to the upside here, like I've shown on a daily time frame, that the focus is still for this one to continue with the bullish move to the upside on a daily time frame. Now, if you look at this here, this looks like it is already done with a three-way pullback here. Now, we're going to be expecting to see this one here to be giving us a move to the upside. But obviously, once we've got such big move to the upside, you would expect that at least you must get a deeper corrective structure. So I won't be surprised if we see this one to be a deeper corrective structure before the move to the upside. But just to show you here on the 1 hourly time frame, why the focus still to the upside is because of this here. We are looking at this one to be a 5-wave move to the upside here. This being wave 1, wave 2. These two have only completed this wave 3 here. So now we are looking at this one to have been a 3-wave move to the upside. This was an update that we had, that we expected this to drop right into the blue box area here, and the expectation was for this one to give us this last leg, which will be our wave 5. Then from there, you might expect a deeper correction before you see a continuation move to the upside. So it might not be ready yet to drop to the downside for that 3-wave corrective structure. We're expecting to see one more leg up before the actual move to the upside. Chief Yen. So Chief JPY, we've got this impulsively move here. So from these lows here, we are looking at this one to be a 5-wave move to the upside. This being our wave 1, our wave 2, our wave 3 here. Now the wave 4 does not look like it has already ended. It looks like we are still going to see this one more leg to a downside here. Why that one more leg? Just zoom into this structure here. You will see that we've already had this one to have been a 3-wave move to the downside here. 3-wave move to the downside, and this looks a 3-wave move. This being a 3-wave move, this could be our connector here, our wave X, and you can still get this one to be a 3-wave move to a downside, and then you get this structure here before the actual move to the upside. But the indicator is going to tell us if this is not ready to go, then we will be expecting that one more leg to the downside there. Let's have a look at the next one. KDN, you've seen this one here during on the website, that the expectation is for this one to still continue with the bullish move to the upside here. So from these lows here, we are looking at this one to be our wave 1. This being our wave 1, our wave 2, wave 3 here. Now it's a matter of whether this wave 3 has already ended, or we're still going to see one more leg. And obviously, this is very obvious here. This could just be our wave 1, our wave 2, our wave 3 here. So we're looking at this one to be already done here. So we're going to be expecting to see this one more leg, which will be our wave 5, that will be completing this wave 3 in that white degree here. And then from there, you can expect to see this one to be a 3-wave move, our wave 4, wave 5. Then from there, you can expect to see this one to be a bearish move to a downside. But for now, you don't have to worry about the bearish view. Just focus on KJPY for a bullish move to the upside. Right, so the yen pairs are the same here. So same thing applies here with the New Zealand yen. We are looking at this one to be already starting a bullish move to the upside. This being our wave 1 here. This being our wave 1, our wave 2. Looking at this here to be our wave 3. So we are still looking at this one to give us at least one more leg up, one more leg to a downside to complete the wave 4 here. Then from there, you're going to be expecting to see this one to be our wave 5 to the upside. So the yen pairs are still expected to complete the wave 4 and one more leg to the upside. It will be the same as well with the new Audi yen. We will be expecting to see this one to be completing the 3-wave move to the downside here. I'm just going to zoom into this structure here. So we are going to be expecting this one here to give us this wave 4. This being a move to a downside here, we could even be having this one be an expanding Fed corrective structure like this. One more leg down here, and we're going to be expecting to see this one to be a move to the upside on USD yen. Right, so let's look at the euro pairs. That will be euro Audi here. So euro Audi, the expectation for this one here to at least give us one more leg up before the actual drop to the downside here. So we've got this one to have been an impulsive move to the downside, this being wave one in a lower degree here. Now we are looking at this one to be a three-wave moves here. This being a three-wave move to the upside, we could even be having this one as an expanding flat corrective structure like this here. I would still have to see this one to be one more leg up. This being our W here, wave X, this to be our wave Y against this swing high there. Then from there, we're going to be expecting to see this one to be a bearish move to a downside. This being our wave one here, wave two. So we're going to be looking for that bearish move to a downside. But I still have to see this one to be a one more leg up before the actual drop. It will be the same as well with the Euro New Zealand. The expectation for this one to give us this one more leg again. As much as the two pairs are positively correlated, but it might be we might get Euro New Zealand to be going as far as invalidating this structure here. But the structure, the bearish move will still be the same, because we could be having this one here to have been a three-wave move to the upside, drop to a downside here, and we could be having this one here to be a three-wave move and then go and take this high here. Then we can be looking at structure like this, but the move will be the same. Even if it gives us this structure here, this being a move to the upside, we can still get this one to drop a little bit here, get this one to come and take this low here. Then from there, you can expect to see this structure here. Even if it goes beyond this point, we'll still be looking for the bearish move to a downside. Or if it doesn't, then it will be accommodating the structure that we're seeing on the Euro Audi. Then we're going to be having this to be a three-wave move. Then we're still going to look at this as a wave one here and wave two. Then we're going to be expecting to see a bearish move to the downside. Euro CAD, we are still expecting to see this one to drop here. We've seen this, looking at this one to be a five-wave move to a downside here. This being our wave one, our wave two here, our wave three, and this to have been our wave five here as an ending diagonal here. This completing our wave one. So I would love to see this one to give us this three waves corrective structure here for our wave two before we see a continuation move to the downside. So zooming into this here, you will see that this was a five-wave move to the upside. It's much visible when you look at it on a 1 hour time frame. This has been a five-wave move to the upside here. This being our wave one, so you could be having this one here to be our wave, not a wave one here, rather this being our wave A here. So we could be having this one to be a three-wave move, wave B here, and then we get this for one more leg up before we see the actual move to the downside. So I'm looking at this here as an ABC corrective structure. All right, so Euro Chief on the other hand, this one looked a bit different here, even though the expectation before this one to drop. But if you look at this here, it has been this move to the upside here. We've got this one to be a move here. So I will be expecting to see this one to be dropping for this structure here. So we could be having Euro Chief to give us this one more leg here, whether it's going to make all the move to the upside or still going to drop. But for now, the data that we have is telling us that we should be expecting this one to come at the equal legs. Then from there, we're going to be looking for a similar move to this one here, or a move that is ready for a move to the upside. I think we've shown this one for a couple of times. Why are we expecting Euro Chief to eventually start a bullish move? Because we've been looking at this here from these highs here. This should have been an 11 swing sequence here. This is what we've been looking at. This should be our W with X here, with Y, with X here, and this should be an 11 swing sequence on its own to complete this being our Z, this being our W. With X here, with Y, with X, and this here to be our wave Z. So you need to be careful. This might already be done here, and you might be expecting to see that big move to the upside on Euro Chief. All right, so back to the lower time frames. You might also I'm gonna repeat this here again. Watch out for this here. This could be a trade setup for a bullish move to the upside on the Euro Chief. This could be just a three-wave moves here, and we could be starting that rally to the upside. If it goes as far as taking this higher, then you might know that this might be ready for a bullish move to the upside. All right, so Euro Pound. Euro Pound does not look like it's ready for a bullish move to the upside. We've got this one to be a three-wave move, so you must still expect to see this one to drop to the downside. This being a three-wave moves here, so we might expect to see this one to be dropping. It has already started with a bearish move right there. If you are seeing this one to be a three-wave pullback against this swing high here, then you can look for this one to at least come back to these lows here. Right, so let's have a look at the pound pairs. Starting with the pound out here. The structure is simply on the pound pairs. We are looking at this one to continue with the bearish move to the downside, but that does not mean that you immediately go and sell there, because at some point here, I will be expecting to see this one to be pulling back. There's a 5-wave move to a downside here. With 3 here, with 4, this wave 5 here. This is coming to an end here. So I will be expecting to see this one to be giving us a 3-wave pullback, still against this swing high here. Then we're going to be expecting this one to drop. Obviously, it's a very significant amount of pips, over almost like 1,000 or 700 pips just for this one to give us this 3-wave pullback here. So we'll be looking to trade that one for a move to the upside. But that does not mean that you are going to trade it from here. You're going to have to wait to get this leg here. And if you get this 3-wave pullback, then we'll be looking at this one to at least come to around the area of 50% of this whole range. And then from there, you're going to be expecting to see this one to be dropping to a downside. It will be the same as well with the pound New Zealand. Looking at this one, to have completed a 5-wave move to a downside. So we're going to be looking at this one here to give us a pullback. This being a wave 4 here, wave 5. So we are going to be expecting to see this one to be a 3-wave pullback that will at least come around the 50% retracement. So this might be a start, but you don't have to jump into this. Wait for the market to tell you that it is ready for a pullback. It's going to give you this move to a downside here. Once you get this one to be a 3-wave pullback, then you can look for that buying opportunity. But the actual move will be for the bearish move to the downside. But those are significant amount of pips, so you will be looking to trade that and the corrective structures there. So we know by now that the market spends most of its time in the corrective structures, so we need to be able to trade those corrective structures. Pound CAD, so that we are expecting that this is going to be ending this move to the downside here very soon. So it will be very risky to look for a selling opportunity here. You rather wait for this one to tell you that it is ready for a move to the downside. So we're looking at this to be our wave 1, our wave 2, this to be our wave 3 here, running failed corrective structures, our wave 4. So we could be looking at this one more leg here, which will be completing our wave 5, and from there we must start to look for the bullish move to the upside. So be careful there. You don't want to be caught in that selling, because we're going to be expecting to see that bullish move to the upside on pound CAD. Right, so let me see if I can show you here in the daily time frame where we're expecting to see a pound CAD to make a move to the upside, because structurally this is what we've been looking at here. We've got this one to be a rally to the upside here. This being a move to the upside, so we are looking at this here to complete this corrective structure here. So what we could be having here is for this one to be going all the way up here. Alternatively, we could be having this one to be a move to the downside here. This being, we had this move to a downside here, and we could be having this one to be a 3-wave up here, 3-wave move to a downside, and we can get this one to be a 3-wave move to the upside here, and still get this one to drop lower here, this being your wave A here, this being our wave B, and this to be our wave C here. And then from there, you might expect to see this move to the upside. This was a 5-wave move here, this being our wave A here, wave B, then we can expect this one to be our wave C. That's what you're going to be looking at. But this is a long term. For now, I know that everybody just want to know what is expected around this area here. But like I've shown you, that we will be expecting a little bit of a drop. And from there, we're going to be expecting that bullish move to the upside on pound CAD. Right, so pound chief, still expecting this one to drop to the downside here. We are looking at this here to have been a 3-wave move to the downside. We're looking at this one here to be a 3-wave move to the downside here, and this one here to be a running flat corrective structure here. So we'll still be expecting to see a similar move that will be this one here. So we're looking at this here to be our W, our wave X. So we're going to be looking at this one to be our wave Y. So once this is done here, then we're going to be expecting to see that bullish move to the upside. But for now, expect to see that if it gives you a 3-wave pullback against this swing high here, you can still look for this bearish move to the downside. So what you're going to be expecting on that pound pair. Now let's look at the cross pairs out in New Zealand. From these lows here, you will see that we've been calling for a bullish move to the upside from around this area here. When we saw this 3-wave corrective structure around this area here, we were still expecting to see this one to be a bullish move to the upside, and we are still looking at this one to continue with that move. For now, we're looking at this here against this swing low here, that we can get this one to pull back. If you get this one to be a 3-wave corrective structure like this, you can still look for that bullish move to the upside on Audi New Zealand. Other than that, this could just still continue from where it is, continue with that rise. But if it gives you this structure here against this swing low, then you can look for the buying opportunity to the upside. Audi CAD, you can refer to the last week. You saw how we've been traded this one from this low. It was right into blue box, and this has already moved over 200 pips. So the expectation is very simple here. We are looking at this one to be a corrective structure here. Now we're going to be expecting that this is going to continue with the bullish move to the upside here. So this could be a buying opportunity to the upside on Audi CAD. So New Zealand CAD will be the same as well with Audi CAD. We are looking at this one to have completed this being a three-wave move. So we're going to be looking for a bullish move continuation to the upside here. So we're looking at this one to be our wave A or wave B. This to be our wave C, meaning against this swing low here. We are expecting that New Zealand CAD should pump to the upside. Alternatively, what we could have here is that this could just be a three-wave pullback here. If it's a three-wave pullback, that will mean we are still going to see this one here. Should be giving us this three-wave pullback to the downside here. This being our W here, wave X here, and this should be our wave Y before it makes the actual move to the upside. But our primary view is for this one here against this swing low, that it should continue from here. So this could be our wave one here, or this could be our wave A. So the market, the indicator will tell us if this will be ready for that bullish move to the upside, or it's just going to be a three-wave move and then a move to the downside before the actual move to the upside there. So that's what you're going to be looking at on New Zealand CAD. Our chief, we've been talking about this study for quite some time. We've been looking at this one to be in a WXY corrective structure here, this being a three-wave move to the upside, to a move down here, and this to have been an 11 swing sequence to the upside. So we are looking at this structure here. Now the expectation will be for this one to drop. If this continues to drop here and you see this three-wave pullback against this swing high here, then you can look for the bearish move to the downside on our chief. Will be the same as well with the New Zealand chief. We have been looking at this one to have been a five-wave move to the upside. This to have been our wave A here, five-wave move to the downside. And we are looking at this one to have been an 11 swing sequence to the upside there. Against this swing high, we have been looking at New Zealand chief to drop to the downside. So if you can get this one to at least come and break these lows again, then if you get this to be a three-wave pullback against this swing high, not this one here, but against this here, then you can look for the bearish move to the downside on New Zealand chief. So if New Zealand US dollar and Audi US dollar are going to drop, then you expect to see a drop on these crosses here. So lastly, from the Forex page, that would be CAD chief. You saw that we've been looking at this one to have completed this structure here. This to have been a three-wave move to the this is a structure that we're looking at here on a CAD chief, three-wave move to a downside. So we're going to be expecting to see this one being a three-wave move, this being our W, our X. So we're going to be expecting to see this one here to be a three-wave move to complete our wave Y. Then from there, we can expect to see a bullish move to the upside on CAD chief. So meaning from where it is against this swing high here, we're going to be expecting to see a bearish move to the downside here. So if you can get this one to give you a three-wave pullback here against this swing high here, then you can expect this one that it is going to drop to the downside. So that CAD chief, we are expecting to see a pullback anytime soon. So it will be expected that CAD chief as well, it drops to the downside. I'm only referring to CAD Yen because those two have got the CAD as a base pair. So expecting that CAD JPY to pull back. So we're going to be expecting that CAD chief as well might give us this three-wave corrective structure to downside and complete that wave Y. You will see that when you get to the Brent crude oil, we are expecting that Brent crude oil trades to the downside. Now, before we move forward, let's have a look at US dollar ZAR. So US dollar ZAR, we are looking at this one here to start a move to the upside here. We've got this one to be a three-wave move to the upside here. Looking at this is a structure here, this being a three-wave move to the upside. So now we are looking at this one here to be a three-wave move to the downside. So expect that this should start to make that move to the upside, especially that the DXY is expected to make the move to the upside. The US dollar-based pairs are positively correlated to a DXY, so we might expect that US dollar ZAR rather might start to give us this move and this back to these highs here. Right, so let's have a look at the commodity pairs. That would be gold. Right, so gold for the previous weeks, you will refer this. So we've been looking at gold to trade to the downside. Now, I'm going to show you here the structure on a daily time frame. What we are looking at on gold is this one here to have completed our way to yet to complete the wave 4. We are looking at this one to have been our wave 1 here on a higher degree. This to be our wave 1, and this one here to have been our wave 2 here as a regular flat corrective structure. Wave 3 here. This being our wave 3 there. Now we're looking at this here to have a 3-wave move to a downside, 3 waves up here. So we're going to be expecting to see this one to be dropping in a 3-wave move to complete this wave 4. So this is a structure that we'll be looking at on gold before we can resume the move to the upside. So from where it is to at least to come back to these lows here, it's over 2,000 pips. So for the next 2,000 pips, we're going to be looking at gold to trade to the downside. Now back to the lower time frames. On a 4-hour time frame, we are looking at gold to, like I've indicated, I've shown you already that we had the expectations for this one to drop. So if you look at this here, we've had this one to have been a 3-wave move to a downside here, 3-wave move as our connector here. So we're looking at this here to be our W, this to be our X. So we are going to be at least for the equal index, at least for now, gold, we're expecting to come back around this area of 1800 before we can expect a major pullback and a continuation move to the downside. So even if it makes a move to the upside here, just focus on the bearish move to a downside on gold. Alternatively, this could just drop from where it is here. Okay, so this could just drop from where it is, this being our connector here. Now we are going to be expecting that gold should drop from here. This, let me just align this here properly. So if you look at this here, this is the structure here. We could be in this move here. We've got this one to be a move to a downside and then a move to a downside here. We've got this one to be a move up, pulling back here. So this could be our leg here. So we could be in this leg on gold. So we're going to be expecting at least this one to drop for here to come around this area here at the 1800 before we can expect that pullback and the continuation move to the downside. Silver would be the same as well with gold. We've been showing you this structure for quite some time. We've been looking at this here to have been a 3-wave move to a downside on silver here. Now we're looking at this one to have been this being a 3-wave moves here, and we are looking at this here to be a 3-wave moves corrective structure. So we're going to be expecting this to drop at least for the equal index to this one here before we can even expect to see a bullish move to the upside. So meaning that every time we're seeing a 3-wave pullback here on a silver, just keep on selling it to the downside up until gold gets to its target. Then that's when we'll be expecting that silver as well will be reaching its target, because the two pairs are positively correlated. Platinum, we saw this one here. The focus has never changed here. We are still looking at this one to drop to a downside. We'll be looking at this one to open an 11 swing sequence to the downside that has completed this W here, this being our W, and the structure that we'll be looking at is for this one here. So meaning that you're going to be expecting for a similar move to this one here to the downside. So every time this give you a 3-way pullback, just focus on selling platinum to the downside. So zooming into this structure here, like I've said, that you might not be surprised. We can even get this one here. We've seen this one here short term. It made this move to the upside here. So this being a 3-way move here, that will mean expect that this can make a move to the upside here. It can even go back and take this here, and then we have this bigger corrective structure like this here before we see a more continuation move to a downside. But with this here, here expect at least this year to be just a 3-wave move corrective structure standalone, and from there expect that platinum will continue with that bearish move to the downside. Brent crude oil, an update that I should have shown you here. The focus was for this one. When we were around this area here, we expected that Brent crude oil was going to this was going to be the structure here, 3-way pullback, and this one to drop here. But I'll find that one and share it to you guys on the social media. So we'll be looking at this one here to have ended this move to the upside here. Now, if you look at this here, this looks like a 5-way move to a downside here. This could be our wave A, or it can even be our wave 1 here. So Brent crude oil, I believe this is already done. Provided that the price does not go back to this high here, this might already be done, and it might be time to trade to the downside. So we'll be looking at this here to be a 3-way pullback here, and the expectation for this one is to drop to the downside here. So we are still expecting that Brent crude oil should continue with the move to a downside. If you see this 3-way move pullback, expect that bullish move to the downside. Alternatively, again, this is something that we've been talking to the members area, that we need to be careful, because this could just be a 3-way pullback here on Brent crude oil. This being an A here, our B, our C. So we could be having this one as a move to the upside, and this being a 3-way pullback, and this is going to give us this move. But as soon as this one take this low here, then we will know that the Brent crude oil will be expected to continue with that bearish move to the downside. For now, our primary view is for Brent crude oil to continue with that bearish move to the downside. Now let's have a look at the indices. All right, so Nasdaq, we've been looking at this one here to continue the bullish move to the upside. If you remember very well, we've been talking about this here to be an 11 swing sequence to the downside. And if you look at the internal wave, you will see that they are all in threes. So that's why we're looking at this one to be a corrective structure. Now, this has given us this rally to the upside here. So we could be, and the nice thing is that it has taken the first previous high of this prevailing trend. So the prevailing trend was this one for a move to the downside. Now it has taken that first swing high here. So this could be an indication that we might see an all-time highs on the indices. So I'll be expecting to see this one to be a three-way pullback against this window here. Then you can look for Nasdaq to continue with that bullish move to the upside. Now let's have a look at the next one here. Dow Jones will be the same as well. We are looking at this one here to have completed this one being a three-way move to a downside here. So we're going to be expecting to see this one to be continuing with a move to the upside here on Dow Jones. So I'll be expecting to see this one to continue with that bullish move to the upside here. But S&P 500 will be the same as well. You might get this one to be a three-way move pullback here. Then from there, this might continue with the bullish move to the upside here. This could just be a three-way move there and then a move to the upside. Or alternatively, what we could have here on S&P 500. Let me show you the 1 hour time frame. I would have loved to see this one to give us this one more leg here. So this being our wave one in a high degree here. This being our wave one, wave two, and this one to be a 5-way move to the upside. This being our wave one, our wave two, wave three here. I'll still have to see this one to be giving us one more leg up before we can even consider to trade lower. That will mean to be completing this wave three here. Then we're going to have a wave four, which I wouldn't like to see this wave four to be coming into this territory of a wave one. And from there, I'm going to be expecting that S&P 500 continues with the bullish move to the upside. But as far as it is, the indices looks ready to make a move to the upside. DAX here, same thing here. We'll be looking at this one as to completed and move to a downside here against this swing low. We are expecting to see this one to be pulling back. So it might be time for a pullback here. If you look at this on the 1 hour time frame, you will see that this has given us a 5-way move to the upside here. So expect a pullback, and that's before we see a continuation move here to the upside. This being our wave one, our wave two, a three here, nice wave four there. And then looking at this into completed wave 5, so it might be time for this three-way pullback against this swing low here. You might expect this one to continue with that bullish move to the upside there. That's so Nifty, expecting this one to continue the move to the upside. We've been talking about this here for quite some time, but this was a three-way move here to move up. This to be a three-way move to a downside. Now we are seeing this one to be running to the upside. If you get this one to be a three-way move pullback against this window here, we can expect to see this one to continue the bullish move. Other than that, the indicator just showing that the strength is too strong. We should be expecting this one to continue with the rally to the upside. Nikki, for quite some time, the structure here, you must be familiar with it. We've been talking about this here to complete this structure, and the expectation will be for this one to continue with the bullish move to the upside. You can refer to the previous videos. We've been looking at this here to be our W. This should be a three-way move. Our W here, our wave X is connected here, and this should be our wave Y here. Now we're expecting that this should continue with the bullish move to the upside. Simple thing here. The first swing high here has already been taken out here, so meaning that the trend is changing to the upside. Even if you see this one to get through a pullback again, this swing over here, then expect that movement should continue with the bullish move to the upside. UK 100, same here. We've had this one to have been an ending diagonal here. If you remember very well, we were expecting to see this one to be dropping, and it gave us this drop in a three-wave moves here. This should have been a three-wave move to a downside. So we're going to be expecting that UK 100 take this high here. If you take this high, it will even be confirming that the indices are ready to give us that all-time high. So even if you see a three-way pullback here on UK 100, expect this one to continue with that bullish move to the upside. Right, guys, that will mark the end of our surging on the Forex and the indices pace. So those who are interested in the cryptocurrencies, stay tuned. We'll do that one shortly after this. Cheers, everybody, and trade safe. Bye-bye.